Good evening, listeners. Snuggle back in your easy chair and join your host, Dexter Fitzgibbons, for another edition of Radio Time.
In winter time or summertime or leisure time or pleasure time, the daily times that Big Ben chimes are radio times. For Christmas time or party time or dinner time or dancing time, the daily times that Big Ben chimes are radio times.
Along old Harlem way.
That Tattoo River party is 10 times wild and gay.
To say that things are jumping leaves not a single doubt
That everything is in full swing when you hear somebody shout.
This joint is jumping, it's a really jumping. Come in, cats, and check your hats. I mean, this joint is jumping.
The piano's thumping, the dance is pumping. This here spot is more than Harlem fat. The joint is jumping. Shake your hat, pants at the door, be sure to pay your quarter. Bang your leather on the floor, grab anybody's daughter.
The roof is rocking, the neighbors knocking. We'll all bounce when the wagon comes. I mean, this joint is jumping. It's really jumping. Every mouse is on his toes. I mean, this joint is jumping. No time for talking. It's time for walking. Grab a girl and cut the rug. I mean, this joint is jumping. Get your big feet there and jump. There's plenty in the kitchen.
Hey, who's that just coming down?
Oh, all right. Don't mind the hour, 'cause I'm the power. I got there with plenty spare. I mean, this joint is jumping. This joint is jumping. It's really jumping. We'll all bounce with the wagon comes. I mean, this joint is jumping.
I'm coming, officer. Yes, folks, this joint is really jumping tonight, a rousing opener to our final show. Yes, that's right, listeners. This is our very last show, but we're not through for a little while yet. We have a veritable feast of entertainment for you tonight, so let's not waste any time and get moving, shall we? Here's the ever-popular Irish tones of Jack Callahan with the ever-popular Always.
Loving you always with a love that's true always. When the things you've planned need a helping hand, I will understand. Be fair always. That's when I'll be there always. Not for just an hour, not for just a day, not for just a year, but always. Days may not be fair always. That's when I'll be there always. just an hour, not for just a day, not for just a year, but always, always, always.
Jack Callahan. During the old cold winter nights, have you ever dreamt about being on a tropical island somewhere, or a beach of golden sand, somewhere like this? As the sun pulls away from the shore and our boat sinks slowly in the west, we approach the island of Lulu, spelled backwards, Ul-Ul. In the distance, we hear the Radio Times Waikiki Waikikians. There's a funny little melody that was started by a nation down in Waikiki. People gathering crowd down beside the sea, and they play his gay Hawaiian chant. Soon the other little nations started singing it, and the hula hula maiden started swinging it. Like a tropical storm, that's the way it is. Funny little gay Hawaiian chant. From the shores of Waikiki to the office of the intrepid policewoman Higgs, as the Radio Theatre presents Super Dame in episode 1 of the macabre case of the Canny Scott and the hotel broom cupboard machine gunner.
Our story begins on a dim, dark, damp, dingy, drizzling night. The Kiwi-tropolis town hall clock has just struck 1:10 past 1. When a 1932 Chevrolet painted black with no lights and all the windows misted up slid silently out of the drizzle and came to a halt outside the Grand Central Hotel. Then a mysterious figure clad in a long black cloak and carrying a violin case climbed out and quickly raced up the hotel fire escape till he came to the 11th floor, where he stopped outside room 745. Stealthily, he levered up the window, crept into the room, and quietly made his way through the dark. till he came to a closed door. Quietly, he opened his violin case and took out his Stradivarius machine gun, tuned it, took a deep breath, then kicked open the door and opened fire with his submachine gun. The next morning, the hotel staff were amazed and shocked and surprised and bewildered to find a broom cupboard full of bullet holes. 3 hours later, this baffling case was to land on the desk of Chief Inspector Pennyworth.
This is terrible, Chief.
Yeah, I know that, policewoman Higgs. That's the third hotel broom cupboard this hoodlum has shot up in the past week.
What was the damage this time, Chief?
Terrible. He's mutilated 4 brooms, 2 mops, 16 feather dusters, and 6 44-gallon drums of detergent.
How frightening.
Yes, it is. Hotel cleaning staff all over Kiwitropolis are refusing to go near any broom cupboards in case this mad fellow tries to make a clean sweep of them.
Do we have a lead, Chief?
Only one. It was attached to a white French poodle.
Holding the lead.
A well-groomed blonde wearing a Union Jack and standing beside a black Chevrolet with a flat tyre.
An ordinary sort of scene, isn't it, Chief?
Yes, Higgs. But there's one thing that makes this suspicious. The French poodle couldn't speak French.
Great Scott, Chief! You mean a bogus French poodle?
Precisely, Higgs. And what's more, we checked his collar, and on it we found the name Sir Thomas Carruthers.
Funny name for a dog.
That's the owner's name, Higgs. Sir Thomas Carruthers is the famous Scottish sardine canner and eccentric millionaire.
This canny Scot sounds fishy, Chief. I'll check him out immediately.
Yes, listeners, a strange and macabre tale of mutilated brooms, mangled mops, and desecrated dusters. But who was the strange blonde in the Union Jack? And was she merely trying to flag down a passing motorist? And what about the bogus French poodle? Don't miss the next gripping episode in the baffling story of Super Day!
Crazy words, crazy tune, all that I am a hearing too. Oh, do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do, sits around all night long. He sings the same words to every song. Oh, do-do-do-do-do-do. His ukulele, daily, how he'll strum. Da-da-dum, clapping and snapping, learning how to black button. Crazy words, crazy tune, he'll be driving me crazy soon. Oh, do-do-do-do-do-do. Napoleon marched his men to Waterloo. What did he say to them? Oh, do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh, is that so? Washington and Valley Forge, 'twas bitter cold, and up Mount George. Oh, do-do-do-do-do-do. No, you don't say. And Simon Legree in Uncle Tom's cabin. What did he say to Uncle Tom? I'll tell you what he said. He took his whip and said to Uncle Tom, "Come on, Charleston." And in the Senate the other day, what did our President Coolidge say? Oh, do-do-do-do-do-do. Crazy words, crazy tune, all that I am a hearing too. Oh, do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do, sits around all night long. He sings the same words to every song. Oh, do-do-do-do-do-do. His ukulele, daily, how he'll strum. Da-da-dum, clapping and snapping, learning how to black button. Crazy words, crazy tune, he'll be driving me crazy soon. Oh, do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh, do-do-do-do-do-do.
Crazy words indeed from the ladies, not normally given to crazy words. One who is our singing cowboy, Chuck Rutter. Tonight he sings of his love for a pretty little Indian squaw who waits for his return to some far-off reservation. Howdy, folks!
Once lived an Indian maid, a shy little prairie maid, who sang all day a love song gay. On the plain she'd while away the day. She loved a warrior bold, the shy little maid of old. But brave and gay, he rode one day to battles far away. Now the moon shines tonight on pretty red wing. The breeze is sighing, the night bird's crying. For a day and night, she kept the campfire bright. Under the sky each night she would lie, dream that he'd be coming by and by. And when all the braves returned, the heart of a redwing yearned. Far, far away, a warrior gay fell bravely in the fray. Now the moon shines tonight on pretty red wing. The breeze is sighing, the night bird's crying. Far upon me the star her friend is sleeping, while redwing's weeping her heart away. Now the moon shines tonight on pretty red wing, and the breeze is sighing, and the night bird's crying. Far upon me the star her friend is sleeping, while redwing's weeping her heart away.
Why redwing's weeping?
Her heart away.
Hold on, Chuck. And now let's pause for a message of the greatest importance.
Trumpets, we adore you. We'll love you all our life. The spreading is done for you. Don't even need a knife.
Yes, it's Trumpa's genuine self-spreading jam. The only jam in the world to have raced Sir Robert Scott to the South Pole. Trumpa's jam takes the daily grind out of breakfast, lunches, and snacks. Because Trumpa's jam actually spreads itself, giving you time to relax.
Keep it on the table. Don't leave it on the shelf. And always ask for Trumpets jam, the jam that spreads itself.
Thank you, Trumpets. For our dance spot this week, we go on campus to universities everywhere where everyone is doing the varsity drag.
We've always thought knowledge is not we should be taught to dance. Right here at Tate, we're up to date. We teach a great new dance.
Don't think that I brag. I speak of a drag.
Why should a sheep learn how to speak Latin and Greek badly? Give him a neat motto complete, say it with feet gladly.
First lesson right now. You'll love it and how you love it.
Here is the drag toes, down on the heels, up on the toes. That's the way to do the varsity drag. Do-do-do-do, hotter than hot, newer than new, meaner than mean, bluer than blue. Gets as much applause as waving the flag.
You can pass many a class, whether you're dumb or wise.
If you all answer the call when your professor cries.
Everybody down on the heels, up on the toes, stay after school, learn how it goes.
Everybody do the varsity, everybody do the varsity,
Everybody do the varsity drag.
Tritch, Tratch, Polka. In spite of the name of the tune, our Southern Hemisphere's greatest dance band certainly have what it takes to make life just that little bit easier in these times of recession. So it seems as our tantalizing Dixie Del Rey and the delightful High Spots, who have a most uplifting outlook on life.
Life is just a bowl of cherries. Don't take it serious. Life's too mysterious. You work, you save, you worry so, but you can't take your dough when you go, go, go. Keep repeating it's the berries. The strongest oak must fall. Those sweet things in life to you were just loaned. So how can you lose what you've never owned? Oh, life is just a bowl of cherries, so live and laugh at it all. Oh, life is just a bowl of cherries. Don't take it serious. Life's too mysterious. You work, you save, you worry so, but you can't take your dough when you go, go, go. Keep repeating it's the berries. The strongest oak must fall. The sweet things in life to you were just loans. So how can you lose what you've never owned? Life is just a bowl of cherries. So the fore and after bit, the sail and after bit, live and laugh at it all. Yes, laugh at it all.
Something that isn't always a bowl of cherries is a policewoman's lot. The Radio Theatre presents Super Dame in episode 2 of the macabre case of the canny Scot and the hotel broom cupboard machine gunner.
The only clues so far are a strange blonde and a bogus French poodle belonging to Sir Thomas Carruthers, the sardine millionaire and eccentric recluse. And right at this very minute, policewoman Higgs is ringing the doorbell at a remote country estate.
Yes, did somebody knock?
Before her stood a young miss who was obviously a chambermaid on account of the receptacle she was carrying.
Good morning. I am policewoman Higgs, upholder of the law, order and police stockings, and virtuoso on the police whistle.
Yes, my virtue's only so-so too, thanks to Sir Thomas. It's a real old lecture.
Lecture?
Yes, he'll let you do anything, provided you let him have his wicked way with you.
But just then, policewoman Higgs felt a strange pinching sensation in her lower lumbar region. And she wheeled round to catch the lecherous old villain in the act.
Sir Thomas Carruthers, how dare you pinch me? Don't you know that is legally assault?
Really, Diggle?
Yes, it's what we in the force call a pinch assault.
Oh, but little lady in blue, I just couldn't resist your charming little sit-upon. It reminded me of that other famous sit-upon celebrated in the charming old song.
What a charming old song.
The London Derriere.
Not so fast, Sir Thomas. I had some questions to put to you. Where were you on the night of the Grand Central broom cupboard machine gunning? And is it true that you drive a 1932 black Chevrolet? And what have you done with the mysterious blonde lady last seen in the company of a bogus French poodle?
That was no mysterious blonde lady in the company of a bogus French poodle. That was my 6th wife.
Your 6th wife? Ha-ha! The plot thickens.
But suddenly a look of fury flashed across the sadistic sardine canner's face, and he ground his teeth and clenched his fists and blurted out, "You police are all fools. You'll never find her body in 100 years.
What do you mean? You haven't taken her life.
It was all her fault. I'm innocent, I tell you. We had this foolish argument. She said the champagne was flat, and I said everyone knows it's round. Anyway, she tipped it into my lap, and I said that was a waste, and she said she could tell that from the belt buckle.
All right. Get to the point.
The point is we argued, and then she came back and said we should bury the hatchet. So I did. 6 feet down in the garden.
But if you buried the hatchet, how did she lose her life?
Was it my fault she was still holding it?
Yes, listeners, so Sir Thomas Carruthers' 6th wife had been buried with the hatchet. But was her death really accidental? And what about the hotel broom cupboards and the bogus French poodle? And was it true what all the local poultry farmers were dying to see, his 1932 Chevrolet? For the answer to these and many more vexing questions, don't miss the next mind-boggling episode in this horrendous story from Super Dame!
And come with us now, listeners, to the grand ballrooms of Europe, where we find our lark of the long white cloud, Marjorie Manners, in a setting befitting her personage, as she sings Waltz of My Heart.
The lark is singing on high.
voice has been described as resembling the whistle of the Southern Pacific charging through the Orlando Tunnel. Whatever it certainly is distinctive. Ethel Merman has a style and grace that is totally unique in this age of torch singers and band vocalists who more often than not sound the same. With her recent introduction to moving pictures, the world can now see the lady behind that inimitable larynx. Tonight, we present the songs that more than just confirm the popularity of one of America's true shining stars.
I got rhythm, I got music, I got my gal, who could ask for anything more? I got daisies in green pastures, I got my gal, who could ask for anything more?
Old man Trouble, I don't mind him.
You won't find him round my door. I got starlight, I got sweet dreams, I got my gal, who could ask for anything more? Who could ask for anything more?
If you're ever in a jam, here I am.
And if you're ever in a mess, SOS.
If you're ever feel so happy you'll land in jail, I'm your bail. It's friendship,
Friendship, just the perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forgot, ours will still be hot. Dick, dick, dick.
If you're ever up a tree, phone to me.
I'll do that. And if you're ever down a well, ring my bell.
If you're ever lost your teeth and you're out to dine, borrow mine. It's
Friendship, friendship, just the perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forget, ours will still be great. Chap, chap, chap.
From champagne, beer, alcohol doesn't thrill me at all. So tell me, why should it be true that I get a kick out of you? I get no kick in a plane, flying too high with some guy in the sky is my idea of nothing to do. Yet I get a kick out of you.
You're the top. You're the Colosseum.
Oh, yeah? You're the top. You're the Lou Museum.
Ah, you're a melody from a symphony by Strauss.
You're an Ascot bonnet.
A Shakespeare sonnet.
You're Mickey Mouse.
Oh, yeah? Well, you're the Nile, or wet. You're the Tower of Pisa.
Well, you're the smile of the Mona Lisa.
I'm a worthless check, a total wreck, a flop.
Buddy, buddy, I'm the bottom. You're the top.
Blow, Gabriel, blow. Go on and blow, Gabriel, blow.
I've been a sinner, I've been a sap.
But now I'm willing to trim my left.
So blow, Gabriel, blow. I was low, Gabriel, blow. Mighty low, Gabriel, blow. But now that I sing the light,
A good night day and a good night night.
so blow, Gabriel, blow. Blow, Gabriel, blow. Go on and blow, Gabriel, blow.
I've been a sinner, I've been a scamp.
But now I'm willing to trim my left.
So blow, Gabriel.
And now, listeners, a thrilling conclusion in the saga of policewoman Higgs and her alter ego, Super Dame, and the macabre case of the Kenny Scott and the hotel broom cupboard machine gunner.
Listeners will recall how we left policewoman Higgs in the country estate of Sir Thomas Carruthers, the eccentric sardine millionaire who had just confessed to burying his sixth wife in the garden with a hatchet.
But wait a minute, Sir Thomas. You said she was your sixth wife. What happened to all the others?
All dead. Nellie, Phyllis, Jeannie, Rosie.
But that only makes 5 wives. There must have been one more.
There was. The only one I ever really loved. Her name was Virginia. I called her Virgin for short, but not for long. She was like a flower in spring, so fresh and young. Oh, we met in the Grand Central Hotel, where she worked as a chambermaid. Many's the time she flirted with me over a carpet sweeper. And I reached out and I touched her feather duster and fondled her broom.
Wait a minute, Sir Thomas. Did you say her broom?
Aye, I confess. The mad machine gunner of Hotel Broom Cupboard is me. It was because I lost my Virginia.
You lost her?
Aye. She fell from the top floor of the hotel, plummeted 69 stories to her death. It was a freak gust of wind. It caught her feather duster and blew her out of the window. Ever since then, I've had this irrational hatred of hotel broom cupboards. There's only one cure. I must have a replacement for my Virginia. And the only woman who could ever do that is Super Dame.
Super Dame?
Aye. I've been watching you, policewoman Higgs, for some time, and I've noticed that whenever you are in trouble, sooner or later, Super Dame comes to the rescue, and that's why I enticed you here with my bogus French poodle.
You villain!
Aye.
As if Super Dame would be interested in a sadistic, psychopathic, sardine septuagenarian like you.
But before she could say any more, the nasty old man pulled the lever on the wall, and a large section of the marble floor rolled back, to reveal a huge concealed tank of water in which were swimming hundreds of desperately hungry alligators.
No! No, Sir Thomas! Don't push me into the alligators! I'll call Super Dame for you! But first, you must turn your back and close your eyes!
All right, but as my pet alligator would say, make it snappy.
Quick as a flash, policewoman Higgs rammed her hand into her handbag, whipped out her top-secret micro-thristor crystal supercharger, disguised, of course, as a stick of lipstick, plugged it into her navel, flicked the switch, and shouted the secret verbal command. Immediately, the superpower charged through her body, and she whipped off her glasses and zapped off her clothes, and stood transformed into...
Super Dame!
The old man wheeled around and gasped in delight.
Super Dame, you've come. We'll get married straight away. Alone, love you as long as you may live, which could be anything up to 3 or 4 weeks.
3 or 4 weeks? You would kill me, too.
Aye.
And the lecherous old man opened his arms wide and closed his eyes and ran up to embrace Super Dame. Only Super Dame, sickened by the sight of his naked lechery and broom hatery, stepped aside and watched aghast as the sardine crackpot plunged into the alligator pool. Yes, listeners, once again, Super Dame had saved the day, and law-abiding, peace-loving citizens of Kiwitropolis could once more rest easy in their beds, in the sure knowledge that wherever crime, corruption, and danger threatened, they could always count on Super Dame!
Now let's take a moment to find out about a most delightful confection.
The jelly that you're eating takes an awful lot of beating when it's Trumpers Jelly time.
Yes, it's Trumpers Jelly time. Trumpers Jelly is the only jelly containing the widest variety of nature's vital ingredients.
It's jelly that's delicious.
Trumpers jelly is the only jelly that's good for you at any time of the night or day. So next time your children say, make it Trumpers, Mum, remember...
It's Trumpers Jelly Time!
Well, folks, it's that time. At the beginning of tonight's program, I said it was our last show, and sadly, all too quickly, it has come to the end. We hope that in some way we have managed to make your nights happy and your days easier as you think of the songs and melodies we've only been too pleased to bring you. On behalf of all the members, past and present, of Radio Times, this is your host, Dexter Fitzgibbons, for the last time, bidding you a fond farewell. So from us all...
for the memory of candlelight and wine, the castles on the Rhine, the Parthenon and moments on the Hudson River line. How lovely it was.
And thanks for the memory of rainy afternoons, swingy Harlem tunes, and motor trips and burning lips and burning toast and brooms. How lovely it was.
Many's the time that we feasted, and many's the time that we fasted. Oh, well, it was swell while it lasted. We did have fun and no harm done.
So thanks for the memory of sunburns on the shore, nights in Singapore. You might have been a headache, but I never was a bore.
Oh, thank you so much.
Say goodbye with a highball.
Bet I ain't got as high as a steeple.
But we were intelligent people.
No tears, no fuss.
Hooray for us.
So thanks for the memory, and strictly unrenewed. Darling, how are you? And how are all the little dreams that never did come true? Awfully glad I met you, cheerio and toodaloo. And thank you so much.
Good night, sweetheart, everybody